Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Under Review with Jared John. Each episode will analyze the impact the sports world has on society, such as gender equality, race, economy, history, and much more. So step up to the plate and come listen in. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Under Review. This is the season finale of season 2. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for all who are listening. Thank you for just watching the show this whole season. I really do appreciate you guys. We have another very special guest today, and she's very important to me. But before we get into that, you know what I like to do? I like to show you guys a great video, and hopefully you guys like this one. So in this video, you can see the little girl goes up to bat, and she smacks one deep, and it's going long. And here's the volume of what it sounds like as the dad is really proud of her hitting the home run.
Come on, Piper, show them how the girls do it. Home run! That's a home run! That's a home run! That's a home run, Piper! Let's go, Piper! Ah!
Now back to the show. My special guest today, she attended Springfield College, and she graduated with a Bachelor's of Science with a dual concentration in physical education and health education degree. Now, while attending Springfield, she played 3 seasons of softball from freshman to junior year, as her season was cut short towards the end, and she became a manager her senior season. Now, during her freshman year, she batted with a .271 batting average, 16 hits, and 59 at-bats. Also scored 9 runs, posted 3 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, drew 6 walks, and finished with an on-base percentage of .419 and a slugging percentage of .424. It is my pleasure and my great honor to introduce Gab Alfieri. Gab Alfieri, thanks so much for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. First question is, you've played catcher since you were very little. You started since you were very little, and it's a very tough position to play at. Why that position, and what made you fall in love with it?
You know, honestly, the coach was just like, hey, you want to try it? And I was like, all right, might as well. Threw me back there. I don't know, it just felt right, you know? Just stuck. I've never tried anything besides that. You know, I'm not the quickest, so running for the ball wasn't my forte. So, and I'm also a part of every play, so stuck with it.
Now, you played collegiate ball as well, like softball for the 3 years. My favorite question to ask college students is the controversy between student athlete and athlete student. Did you feel like there was a good balance there, and what were some of the difficulties, because you were also a dual major?
Yes, well, I did play collegiate softball at Springfield College, right there, Springfield softball. At Springfield, they love to focus on the student athlete aspect, so they made sure we didn't get home from games too late. Practice didn't go too long. They always monitored our hours practicing versus studying, times we had available. So they really honed in on being the student first before the athlete. They also had any type of resource available to us if we needed it, whether that was academic help, even if it was athletic help, but they also monitored how much extra help we were getting on the field as well. So they really focused in on the student aspect. But being a dual major, it was all about just being strategic about your time. So if that was studying on the bus or in the locker room, making sure that you are getting that social aspect as well, besides just playing the sport and studying at the same time. You want to have some fun with it too. But even some girls on the team were in the same major as me, so that helped a lot. And we all knew whether it was time to study or for athletics. So we were all able to turn that switch on and off to do either or, depending on what the task was.
Now, like I said, you've played softball for a long time. What was your favorite memory of your playing days, either college or high school? Which one was your favorite, if you could choose?
Honestly, I think the best memories are just being on the bus with the team, especially, you know, like after a huge win. You're all hyped up, you got that emotion going, you got music blasting, having a ball. Even like in the dugout, softball, there's a lot of cheering, whereas baseball is pretty silent. So softball, we got a bunch of big mouths in the dugout. So just making sure that you're having fun with each other while also being serious at the same time. Those are some memories that really stick with me, not the plays that were made or even the games that were won, just being around each other and having that fun aspect of the game.
Now, towards the end of your career, you've battled some adversity with your knees. You know, a lot of people say catcher's knees kind of build up on you. Do you have any regrets about being a catcher? Did anybody warn you early on, hey, you have to be cautious with becoming a catcher due to, you know, the severity that comes with kneeling down all the time?
Yeah, I mean, people did warn me about it, and there's knee savers that you can get. But honestly, if you see a catcher with knee savers, you just assume they're not that good because it's like the easy way to cop out of it. Um, there's some give and take with it, whether that's your knees being sore one day. Our athletic trainers at Springfield were amazing, so they definitely helped with that. Um, Learning different strategies of how to stand to help conserve your knees and everything. That was a big factor. But just making sure that you're taking care of your body is honestly the number one aspect. But there's definitely wear and tear over the years. But I mean, it's give and take with the position, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I love the position. I would still do it if I had to. And I recommend people to try catching. I think it's amazing. You're like the big badass on the field. You got your body armor on, knock people out. So I loved it, honestly.
Now, you just talked right there, you know, you could be physical being the catching position. Did you ever receive any stigma about female athletes can't compete with the male sports, you know, baseball versus softball? Did you ever receive anything like that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially at Springfield, the baseball team thinks they're all that in a bag of chips. But there's a bunch of videos online of collegiate softball players, even professional softball players striking out baseball players like MLB batters and all that. So they don't take into account how difficult it is with the change in distance for pitching and the windmill versus the overhand and just the smaller field dimensions. You gotta be a lot quicker with everything and different types of hitters, all that. But no, softball is definitely dominant compared to baseball. And I think we've proved it over the years with the science behind it. I know Sports Center always does those science clips talking about all that stuff. And it's proven that softball pitchers can strike out baseball players. There's still a lot of talk behind it, but I think the chatter is dying down because we're starting to prove ourselves more and more. So
Now, your brother, Mike Alfieri, he actually is going to college for baseball. Do you feel like you could strike him out? I mean, he's a pretty good hitter.
I mean, I think if I had my choice of pitchers, I definitely think I could strike him out. You know, he talks a lot of smack, and he's one cocky boy, I will say that. I'm not diminishing his skill. He is pretty good. I will say he's pretty decent on the field. But I think if I had my choice of pitchers that I've worked with over the years and I knew his weak spots with the different pitches, I think we could definitely take him out.
Now, jumping back to your season, the final season kind of got cut short due to the pandemic going on. Your Florida trip that you guys usually go to was actually canceled. And can you just talk about how the last season was? I mean, you guys only played one game, and we'll get into that because I do want to talk about that real quick. But with the pandemic going on, how did it feel kind of losing your season? And what did you guys do as a team to keep it going in terms of off the field?
Well, definitely losing your season is like a punch in the face. I will say that, especially your senior year. But I mean, you gotta try to take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. Like it was sad at first. We tried to make the best of it as we could. So with the team, we like to do a bunch of team competitions. So our team is actually split up into two. We do a maroon team and a white team. And just throughout the fall, winter, whether that was during fall ball or during lift with different competitions and stuff, we kept a tally of the amount of competitions and the points each team had. And then at the end of the season, one team would come out dominant. There were no prizes or anything, but it was just like a fun competition to keep up with the whole year. So we continued that competition when we were doing remote. So that would be like scavenger hunts, maybe during the week. We did some like TikTok challenges because that's when it was really booming. What else did we do? We made videos for like alumni to see who was the best video. I'm trying to think what else we did. We did all types of little fun games like that. And then we did like one giant competition at the end, which was just like a compilation of all our competitions throughout the year. So that was still fun, trying to keep in touch with everyone. You had your team, you were trying to beat the other team. There were lots of Zoom calls and FaceTimes throughout it. So we were still in touch with each other. We Zoom called at least once a week. So that was fun, trying to keep up with everyone. We did fitness competitions, so just holding yourself accountable, whether that was lifting, doing cardio. You could send hitting videos, pitching videos, any type of that. We could give each other feedback if we wanted to. We could even challenge each other. So you could put up a challenge and be like, I challenge Lex to try to run a mile in under 10 minutes, something like that. So it was just little fun little games like that to try to keep our spirits still alive while still working with one another to make each other better. I mean, the seniors didn't have to participate if they didn't want to, but we all did, honestly, because there was nothing better to do. I mean, besides our schoolwork, of course, but just trying to keep up with one another and just especially helping the younger girls get through this time. And they even helped us get through this time because it was hard having the season canceled, but I think the way we went about it made it more positive in our eyes.
You know, you mentioned your best friend. You actually went to college with your best friend, Alexis Conley. And in the final game, you guys only played one game this year versus Amherst. And she hit a home run to put you guys in the lead in the final inning. What was that like? Did you guys go into that game feeling this could be our only game of the season? And then what was that like to see your best friend kind of get the dub for you guys and kind of power you guys through?
So going into the game, we had no idea that was going to be our only game of the season. So we knew COVID was becoming like a bigger problem and all that. And there were some restrictions on the game. So each team had 6 softballs with their school's initials on it, and you could only use those balls on defense. And even if, say, a foul ball was hit, a player from that team whose ball it was would have to go get it. There was no high fives at the end of the game. We kind of just like waved at each other and said, good game. Like, we had to use our own equipment. They used their own. It was very weird. Like, a lot of hand sanitizer was being thrown around and everything. There weren't masks at the time. But still there were a bunch of precautions being taken. And then it was a game that counted towards our record, but it was like a before Florida game that counted, which we've never done before. So it was new for us. So we were just going in it pretty excited because this is the first game we've played as this team. And just seeing her hit this home run, oh my gosh, it was just so amazing. The dugout was going crazy. It was just awesome because their pitcher was talking a lot of smack the whole time. So just seeing her crank one out, and it was even her last at bat as a collegiate player as well. So that was pretty awesome seeing that. We all went crazy. You know, we couldn't all run out there because, you know, the pandemic and everything, but we still were able to celebrate in our own way, which was really awesome. But yeah, that being our last game, walking off with a win, being undefeated, if you would say, for the season. We were number 1 in our conference technically because we were the only team to play a legitimate game. So that was pretty cool, being number 1 in our conference. But I mean, no, it was a good way to end it, I will say. I'd rather end it on a high note.
Now, the final question I'll ask you is, You've played many years, and I could see that you really love the game. Will you keep going in the future as a coach and stuff like that? And if you could say something or, kind of give thanks to Springfield, what would you cherish the most out of your 4 years at Springfield College?
Oh, there's no doubt about it that I would coach in the future. Oh, God, I would easily do it. Playing is a different part. I'm retired. I'm washed. I'm out of it. I won't throw another uniform on, but I would definitely love to coach, whether that's Little League, high school. I mean, even if I get a shot at the collegiate level, which might be a stretch, but I'll definitely do like high school. But Springfield College, man, wow, they've really changed my life, I will say. I wouldn't be where I am without them. I mean, half my wardrobe is dedicated to Springfield College. You know that. I'm always repping Springfield every day. I have like no other clothes to wear. But I mean, they gave me my amazing education. They gave me some of my best friends that I've ever made in my life. They gave me 4 years of the sport that I love. So that's pretty awesome. But I will say they've definitely changed me for the better. I owe my whole future to Springfield College because they gave me those resources and those outlets to get to the place that I want to be in my life. And just socially, mentally, physically, they've just made me the person I am today. And I wouldn't change that for the world.
Well, Gab, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for always supporting the show and for always supporting me. And I hope your knees do better. And I hope I get to see you coach at the collegiate level. I feel like that's possible.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll always be your number one fan. Let's be real.
Thanks.
I hold that spot, and I'll challenge anyone who thinks otherwise.
Thanks, Gab. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that'll do it. Season 2 is closed. Once again, I want to say thank you so much to Gab for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Like she said, my number one fan. And I appreciate all the support that you've given to the podcast. I really do. And thank you to everybody who's been listening, watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll come back with another season, take some time off, get another great group of guests. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and have a great day.